Hi! This video is part of a series in which I learn about programming a retro video game on the Commodore 64 in assembly. The code I'm using is from the game Supernatural, written by Georg Rottensteiner. You may also know the game as Guns and Ghosts. This is not a tutorial, just me learning game programming. Enjoy the video. Hey coders, it's time for another one. Step 21 this time. It's a short one. It's just a title screen. What's interesting about the title screen is that it's a game loop in itself. It doesn't have to do much. It just, especially this one, it's very simple. I'll show you what it looks like first. That's it. Press fire to play, and it says Supernatural in special letters. So you press start, and the game just starts. So that's the whole change. But let's have a look. It's interesting anyway to see what it does. Let's have a look at the title screen itself. No, the characters, because that's basically the most interesting thing. We've had some new characters. I can't make this any larger than it is, but you can see that these character blocks, there are 4 different blocks. One with a little edge on the right, one with the edge at the bottom, one going around the bottom and the right, and one full block. So those have been added, numbers 26 to 226 to 229. And if we look at the data, we shall see that there is a text title now, and it is basically a memory location that has, well, you can see this is just comments, the supernatural, and it's all built up out of the character codes that we've seen. So someone's been busy. If I take the characters again, you should 229 is a block, and then a 228, that is 228. Does that make sense? Let's have a look at that. Let's see if we can... Oh, no. Run it. Let's have a look at that. So there's there's Vice. So you got a 229, which is a full block, which is that one. And then the next is a 228, which is that one. I see how that does is just 2 characters. And then a couple of spaces, and then this goes all the way to the T, and then the U starts here with 226, which is that one, which is an edge on the right. So this is the way it's been built up. It all makes perfect sense if you look at it. It's very simple. It's not the end product. This is just something that's been built in between. The final product looks very different from this, but we have the mechanic. It says Supernatural, and it has press fire to play. Now, that is by far the most interesting. Oh, I'm gonna kill that, by the way. Yep. We'll see it again in a bit, because we also have a... Let's start from the top then. Right. At line 218, we'll go up. Ooh, oh. At line 218, scrolling all the way up here, there is the title screen game loop. So this section of the code is just the initial setup. You know, we've done all, we're doing all the background color setting and the character set, the multicolor settings and blah, blah, blah. And then the game loop starts. So the first thing we do is we have 2 variables, which we already had. They aren't new, but button pressed and button released are both set to 0, as well as the Vic Sprite enable, which is to say that all the sprites are disabled. Then we have a new function called clear screen, which clears the entire screen. Now, we already have a function like that, but that just clears the play screen. So we'll run past that as we go on. Then we display the title logo, which is the thing that we just saw. We point the 0 pointer 1 at the text title, low address, high address. I guess we set the color here, and then we do the display text function, which is also pretty standard. It just copies the text and the color to the screen area. Then there's the start text, which or you could have seen it was below the. It's the press fire to play. These are the coordinates 0, 1, and 11, 23. So that's where it sets the press fire to play. And then there's the title loop. And this is it in its entirety. So again, we do the wait frame, which means that we wait for the raster to draw the screen and to hit FB. So that's at the bottom edge of the screen. Then we check whether the button was pressed. This is we load the accumulator with this value, which matches the button press, and we do a bit command. A bit command is an AND, but it only affects the process status register. So this way we can very quickly check whether or not a button was pressed. The fire button was pressed on joystick number 2. Now, if it wasn't pressed, that means that it must have been released, and we set the button release to 1, and then we jump back to the title loop. And then if it was pressed, we check whether the button was released first, and let's see if it's not equal to 0. So, if button released is not equal to 0, so is 1, so it was actually released at some point, then we go to restart, and otherwise we jump back to the title loop. Now, this looks to be a little convoluted, but this code demands that the user at a point actually released the fire button. That's to prevent you ending a level with the fire button pressed, and then you go to this title screen, and it immediately detects that you've pressed the button and that you go on. So you have to release it first and then press it, right? So and then it just does the start. It's simple enough. And then of course we have to jump to the right code when we do a restart of the game, because there's this point where we ask press fire to restart. That's when you die. So at this point, I think this is in play. Oh, this is in dead control, right? So this is when this is called from the game loop when you die, and 2, 4. This is it. If last life. It's an error there. And then all we do is if we load the number of player lives, if it is not equal. Oh, okay. So if we still have lives left, then we jump to restart level. Otherwise, we don't have any lives left. We just jump to the title screen. So that's what now happens on the restart, which makes a lot of sense. And then I suppose it's just having a look at the clear screen function, which has been added way at the bottom. Clear the screen. Well, this couldn't be It takes two parameters, the accumulator and Y for the character and the color. We load X with 0, and then we make a loop and we paint the screen. Well, actually, we put zeros there because in our character set... Oh, that's funny. Character 0 is this. Oh, wait a minute. Clear loop. Oh, no. We load the character, of course, in the accumulator. So we just store the accumulator in the screen memory, and we go in these 3 steps until we've hit 250, which means that we'll stop at 1,000, and then we're done. And we do the same for the color here. Right? So we move Y, because Y has the color. We move Y to A, and then we start the loop again, and then we do the color loop, and then we're done. So that is, well, not so interesting maybe, but still useful, because now we have an actual title screen. Okay, that's a short one, but a necessary one. Stick around for the next one, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.